That's how it is with God's love. Once you've experienced it, you spread His love to everyone you want to pass it on. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So we're trying to see God tonight. It's a good night for it. Beautiful night. The rain cleaned everything up. It's one thing about the rain in Oregon. When I grew up, it doesn't happen in California very much. Maybe because it's a desert with sprinklers, but I'm not trying to point my finger at any area and say it's not part of heaven on earth soon. Hey, cheers to that, eh? Because we need to start celebrating the kingdom in our heart. So then we're already getting ready for the king to rule us. Like, in our heart now. So then when he comes, we're already working as unto the Lord, which we should be doing anyway in whatever we do, however we would do whatever we do. You see what I'm saying? If you don't see me trying to do that, what the heck? Hello? Because if somebody thinks I got ADD, it's not me. It's King DD. Yeah, that's how I should have read it. King's got ADD. He's like giving it through me, That's like part of the whole thing about like, let Christ reign in you. Because if he's the king, then everybody's not talking about him king. Then how is he reigning in them? And the kingdom is within you. There's so many. Wow. It's just, come on, guys. Get out of the fog. So I'm just like I'm like in a kind of mourning state because I'm really wondering. There's some verses in Revelation or whatever, some of these verses that talk about that the big deception comes in the end, and like kind of like when that whore of Babylonia and all stuff come on, and well, it gets pretty tough during that time, and your family turns away from you. Like, you're wrong. Get away from me. And there's like violent stuff that happens, when like kids start to wanting to kill their parents and stuff. And I haven't gotten that far, but I've had some rough stuff with some family members that, well, let's just say things got a little out of hand, and well, it's not going to be an easy road all the time. And you have to remember, there was a great book that I was trying to tell before that if you read it, it's really good. And it's about a deep prayer life and kind of like, a deep one-on-one prayer thing, like kingdom style with the king. Like as a bride for her bridegroom with her lamp all oiled up. So it's called No Easy Road, and if you can find it, I don't remember the guy's name, but it was a pretty good book. It was like E.M. Bounds. Any of his are the same. They'll really wake you up to what prayer can do when you do it right, like a house of prayer was made to do. And then you can stop falling into the fog and just get on the... It's a rough road, and it's not going to be easy, but it's not meant to be, because we're working for the king now, and it's all going to be so good so soon if we all get on the same page working for the king. I don't know if there's a number thing, or if it's a racial thing, or it's a tribal thing. I don't really understand all these things with the numbers. And everybody wants to play shuffleboard with Revelation 7 and say, it's not these and it's not these. But I think it's more about who's joining the team and sold out to the king. So whatever religion you're in, I want you to take your favorite football team. Well, mine was the Chargers when Natron Means with Bobby Ross and Stan Humphries. Stan Humphries was not the best quarterback. But if there was a king of the Chargers that got them to the Super Bowl, it was Bobby Ross with Bobby Beathard when they actually got along. And part of the reason was because Natron Means was a partier. He'd like to go drink until 2 o'clock in the morning, the night before the game sometimes, and he'd come in a little, buzzed still the next morning when he had to play a football game. But he was a bowling ball with, the football. Literally, he could just take that thing and just go like a bowling ball, and nobody could take him down. And he was so fun to watch that he got the Chargers to the Super Bowl and beat Pittsburgh and pretty much retired that Cowher guy and made him cry, and it made my day because I never liked him much anyway. Anyway, that's kind of messed up. I shouldn't be like that. That's not Kingdom thing. Sorry. That's an old grudge. We all got to get over these things. He can be in the Kingdom too. It's all good. I just get a little bitter sometimes when people get this self-loving attitude, But anyway, that year that they went to the Super Bowl, they were a really good team because they all played knowing their weaknesses. Stan Humphries was not a great quarterback, and he had a couple concussions where literally you could see through his eyeballs scary stuff. What the heck? This guy needs to retire. He's gonna not wake up, because he literally got knocked out one time that it was dude, are you gonna make it, man? Because his eyes went funky looking, and dude, I'd never seen anything like that. I was like, what the heck happened to him? And so it was a little shaky sometimes when he's going to the Super Bowl, and he was not, the Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw, whatever your famous one types. Not even, Montana Nubbin, I don't like the newer ones as much. But anyway, I'm old school that way. But the thing about it was that Bobby Ross was such a good coach that he knew when to use Natron, and when the openings would come, and he would just go like a bowling ball and go 30 yards and just blow everybody away. What the heck? So that one game, it was great. It was Pittsburgh, AFC Championship game. My buddy, he was a sous chef at the inn. And he had a football party, and we catered it. And he had a Golden Rule catering company. It was so cool. Because we all worked together, and we worked with food all the time. So he'd just go buy the best. It wasn't necessarily organic back then, but the GMOs weren't as bad as they are now. So it was half-half. And I still wasn't waking up to that stuff. But I was making pretty good stuff. So I would make something and he'd make something, and we'd kind of switch off or whatever. And so we had a party, and I made lasagna, and we just had all kinds of stuff. And or he made Chinese food once, and it was just so much fun. And it was all Golden Rule stuff. I'd make lasagna and go out and get the cheese and stuff, make a 4 cheese Frugal Gourmet had some pretty good recipes. He was just a little messed up. He was all into little boys and stuff, so it kind of went downhill. But he did have some good recipes, so I did enjoy some of his books. And I got a couple lasagna recipes and tried them out with some, real marinara sauce, old school Sicilian style, and made, some fresh lasagna, and everybody just loved it. They were just oh, that stuff's so good. But the thing about it wasn't that I'm not trying to say I was the best cook, but part of it was that I just gave it we all gave everything away. And people would be like, this is the best party ever. Because you just come over and, hey, come eat and watch the game and have a beer. And people would bring beer or whatever. But it wasn't hey, you got to pay or you got to chip in. No, it wasn't. There was no plate passed around offering. You see what I mean? So that's real church stuff. So anyway, the game that we had the big party at was like a Super Bowl game. Well, no, we had a Super Bowl. I don't remember which was which. The lasagna one was really fun, though. But anyway, we had these parties, and it was just so much fun. And, like, nobody'd get, too drunk. Some people would a little bit, but we'd have beers and everything. And it was just lovely. It was just, because it was all love, I mean, we didn't talk about God that much, I'll admit, but we could have probably, said a couple prayers. But we were all screwed up in our doctrinal religions, you know what I mean? And so we just want to be cool. And so that's like a golden rule stuff. We're just like loving our neighbor like ourselves. The sad thing is that we just couldn't talk about God because of all our doctrinal divisions. So now we can do that. We can just say, hey, you just love God, right? Don't get into all these stupid churches. You know what I mean? And that's perfect because he's all anyway. And especially when he's king here, he's all, hello, everybody's going to know because he's going to be like the sun shining, you know what I mean? Hello? Can I say it? Obviously. Don't be a dimwit. Because I don't like to say that stuff because it really, degrades people. I'm just trying to wake up. So if that's offensive to you, I understand because that gets me upset too. So I'm trying to, maybe break that habit in all of us. So that's why I say I'm sorry when I do it. Because there's times where I try to just kind of light that spark. So what I'm trying to say is I love football. And I miss it, for reals. Because I haven't seen it for years. Because it just started going downhill so quick. Especially when that Roethlisberger cheated on that touchdown to win the Seattle Seahawks. I was done. Because I thought the Seahawks were finally going to win. I used to be a Seahawks fan. I lived in Oregon, so I just got so bitter. I was like, this is just a scam. And then they had the stupid thing where they took him to court because of somebody lost the bet, I think. So they went to court about the instant replay or whatever, and the touchdown that got taken